Or it's on its way.
Just landed here in Croatia. Say hi, Ma and Dad, and keep everything going in Peterborough. See you when we get home.
Master corporals and below will be getting the ball cap. Once we've got the ammunition in the ball caps, we'll back out. When our kit gets here, we'll unload it, sort it out in the company allotments, get your helmet and your flak jacket out of your kit bag, and then load all the kit on your company vehicles. Once all that's done, then we'll load on the buses as per your company.
go chow down before we do this thing? Yeah.
Right now we're just on patrol through Rastevic. It's about 6 to 8 patrols every day go out through this village just to keep ourselves made known, like make the people feel safe. Ask the people if everything is going all right.
Basically, we just check on the locals, make sure they don't have any problems. You have problems with hunters around here and people cutting wood on their property. that's one of our big concerns, looking after the particulars of local business. This is the Croatian Catholic Church of Rastevic. It was destroyed by the Serbians, who aren't Roman Catholic. And as you can see, they did a pretty good job.
Dobar dan. Kako se? Dobro. The locals here in Rastevic are very friendly towards the UN. They're very glad that we're here.
Often they try and invite us in for a meal or a glass of wine, which try to discourage as much as possible. But other than that, they're always very friendly. We say hello, trying to get on a first name basis with them as much as possible as we deal with a lot of their problems.
In Rastevic, we have 27 Croatians and 46 Serbians living here. The Croatians are those left over who were living here before the war started, and the Serbians here are displaced. They're from the zone of separations, and their houses have been destroyed, and UNHCR has placed them here.
We are now in the village of Donji Bruska. It is a United Nations protected village, and our mission here is to not only protect the village, but protect or deliver food and ensure people are taken care of medically and sometimes dentally.
That's approximately 40 people here, mostly elderly. And
you never see them?
Yeah, they're always inside or out working in their fields and stuff. Once in a while, they'll say hi to us, and pretty friendly, and they have no problem so far, so it's pretty good.
Okay, we got biscuits here. Yeah. We got cereal. Yeah. Laundry soap. Toothpaste. Brushes, yeah. Jam. Yeah. Onion. Carrots. Oh. Yeah. Okay.
Jo, je vem, ti bogate vi.
Ja si gostom.
Kako živite?
Ja još nisam pojeo.
Trošim, ja ulesem Nersku i kupim.
Jutro smo je kuvali, ja nisam spisao.
Jesam Boga mi pojije? Boga.
Welcome to Camp Karen, located in Karen Solana here in occupied Croatia. This is a headquarters for Duke's Company as well. This is where one platoon would normally be. One platoon presently has been tasked to sector headquarters as the security platoon. In this location here we have all of the normal company elements, our transportation element, our quartermaster lives here. Presently we have a section brought in from 2 platoon in Priestig to help us out with camp security. That's Sergeant Mullally presently. We're in a beautiful location here, as you can see. This portion of water is the only water that the Serb Krajina actually has access to in the summer. So in the summer it's quite busy. Karen Solana, the village proper down at the south end of the bay here, is home for about 1,000 displaced persons. Most of the original occupants either don't live here year-round or have moved out. Just to give you an idea to where we sit in relation to the rest of the battalion, we're presently in more of a depth location here. We're located about 25 kilometers northeast of Rastevic, being that direction there. Bravo Company, which is more or less right forward, is directly across the bay, about 15-16 kilometers to our front. And Charles Company is located further south, probably about 30 kilometers from here. It's sort of the most envied location in the battalion. People regularly stop here for lunch, and as you can tell, the view is excellent and the food is great.
2 across call sign 2 AOR, all is quiet. 2-9er continues to remain at the HB checkpoint. There are well over 100 people milling about, waiting for a mass.
This Remembrance Day, we have come together in the sight of Almighty God to offer our prayers and thanksgiving. Remember with sincere appreciation all who have served in our armed forces, especially those who have lost their lives while serving the cause of liberty, justice, and peace.
Anoint my head with oil, my cup overflows. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever.
Oh yeah, we got them. It's just I don't know where they are right now.
Dog tag changed in 16 again.
Okay, good enough.
Dog tag chains are in sea container 12. Down the bottom, or down the left hand side, second last bin, top drawer.
There is some in there.
There's about 600 of them. 1 pair of binoculars.
Excellent.
Okay? And what's the serial number on that, Bugs?
As well, we'll have to tighten up just a bit once we get that one back together. So you get the even feel on the road. We'll move it ahead just a bit there.
Is there a cherry can on that?
What it is by the wrong connectors is they're not even battery connectors on it. They're just electrical connectors.
Yeah.
They're just electrical connectors on the end of the cable.
Yeah.
We have several groups of items that we're heading out today. This is from Mercy International. It's pretty well all mixed contents, creams, cleaning solutions, etc. They provided this stuff here, plus a heart rate monitor, which is directly behind you there. It monitors, again, heart rate, pulse, life signs. This will be going out today, plus the stuff behind you. Again, all mixed contents, mostly drugs, creams, injectables. That will also be heading out today with the shipment.
Coming now.
just came back off leave.
Her up your oil on her face.
with me.
And I said, she'll be a dandy when we reaches Harbor Grace.
For you to watch. And then I'll go down and we'll see our friends in HVs.
At the big
They're
bunker.
150 meters down, just at the edge of the zone of separation.
I did that task into Narandici already, so I was already down to their bunker there to pick up unsift coal.
No, you were down to their checkpoint.
Yeah, checkpoint.
There's in fact a bunker east of that that I'll go down to. The advantage of them occupying this is that they're afraid that the SVKs would come in and occupy this and shoot down on them, which is right there. Now if you look on the other side, there's just trees in that. So this would be obviously built for depth, in depth of the forward position, and shelters for artillery and mortars.
Well, this is Sierra Charlie 38 in Sector South, and we have here zone of separation. You can see the two hills in the distance. The zone runs basically between those two hills, with the Serbians on this side and the Croatians on this side. It's a fairly active OP. We have a lot of small arms fire and small firefights between the two opposing factions. And over here we have the town of Narandici, and over this way about 2 kilometers is the town of Novigrad, which you can't see right now. And there's also Croatian bunkers and their defensive position about 500 meters back along in the wood line.
Sierra Charlie 36 is our farthest OP from my company, Bravo Company, better known as Call Sign 2, which is basically 14 or 15 kilometers in a westerly direction behind me. Our job here is to monitor the zone of separation to ensure that no belligerent forces are penetrating the zone to bring in weapons, military vehicles, or any military kit whatsoever. The zone of separation starts 1 kilometer behind me and basically carries on for 2 more kilometers after that. So as you can see, it's quite easy for us to be able to see any infiltration into the zone whatsoever. The zone does pan out to my left and goes up into the Velebit Mountains. The Velebit Mountains are basically the area of operation of the Jordanian Battalion. And 3,000 meters to my north, actually a little bit northwest, is a Jordanian checkpoint. Their basic job out there is to monitor any traffic and control traffic that would be entering the zone.
You can zoom in on the spot where we're going to put the hot tub.
Mud Vilas, this old bunker.
In front of us, this scene is actually the town of Skabrinje. It was the scene of some heavy fighting during the war, exchanged hands 4 times. It was mainly populated by Croats, but at the time of the ceasefire agreement, it was held by the Serbs.
Yes, this is it to be jolly, la 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 la, la 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 la.
the big guy's way.
Here's one for you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone's gonna stay out here. You just watch the.
Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas, dude.
Happy Christmas.
Super Dobro.
I'll work in this room. The two bigger rooms, if you see like a smashed switch, okay, like the wires will still be there, okay? What you do basically is, it's really, very simple, okay? You have to loosen these off, okay, because what it is there's like a round hole that comes in. You loosen these off and then that gives you a little flexibility.
He's like a hot gun. Okay, underneath the gears.
They are grateful for everything you did.
Na svemu onome što su ovdje za nas učinili.
Yeah, for everything you did here.
Što su izrazili želju da se druže s našom djecom.
Because you had fun with our children.
Bilaš pisma. Hvala.
This one. Two of you? Got it? There's teamwork for you.
So two scoops of powder for art class and gym class all day.
Thailand was great. Back.
Ready?
They're so happy I can pee.
Hold on. You got a sign that you don't want it. Everyone has to say yes or no. Yes. You want to come up?
Please. So I'll have to get through it again.
Can you do me a favor? Can you transfer me to the help desk at Unpro 4 extension 3000?
I reference this road right here. It travels up towards the town of Lazanatinsky. Approximately 700 meters up the road is where the line of separation crosses over. It then runs through the Gubavici feature. It comes down and crosses over the 2-5 route, which is the route you just came in on. It then turns towards Mount Petrum and parallels the 2-5 route.
And you all have lead yet?
96.
You had yours?
96 hour lead.
Yeah, you've had your long one. No.
I have my UN lead.
We're located here at the Yankee 3, Yankee 6 compound, as you can see to my rear. Right there is our kitchen, as you can see. We have our little hot dog stand right in front of us. That's where we work out of. We monitor the gate, vehicles coming in and out. We make sure that no civilian personnel that are unauthorized, don't have an ID card or whatever, don't come in and out. Any belligerents are not allowed in and out type deal. The second house in is our command post, CP. Everybody works out of there, all the big wigs of the company. If you look down this road runs right down to a town called Priesttag. We had a bit of trouble down there before when it came to All Saints Day, however, that's sorted out now. This other road here runs down to Morangi. Morangi Road runs to the crossing, which is the SVK crossing, the zone of separation, about 2 kilometers down to our south. That is the SVK crossing, and then another approximately 2 kilometers is the HV crossing. Runs straight down the Morangi Road. And now if you look to the right, my left, your right, you'll see the road that runs up towards Benkovac. Benkovac houses the 3rd Brigade SVK, Serb Brigade. And in Sopot, which is before the turnoff towards Benkovac, you run into the battalion headquarters for the SVK. 3rd Battalion. As you see, we got various bunkers all the way around the thing. It's wired. We got all of our rock. What are those things called there? Gabions. The rock gabions right here to our front. They're spread out all over. Majority of them were all filled by hand, so you can imagine the amount of work that went into that.
This here is Sierra Charlie 4-5, the halfway point. Okay, we have the OP itself up on top of the hill, and since the vehicle and that, there's no road to go up top to the very top of the hill. Can you hold that? I guess I'll start again. The OP itself is up on the top of the peak. You can just see the flag itself there waving in the breeze. And we have a halfway point down here because the vehicle doesn't go all the way up. So it necessitates manning personnel down here and up at the OP itself. Okay, down here at the halfway point, obviously we keep our section vehicle and a portion of the modular tent there for 3 personnel to stay in. So there's always 3 people here at all times. And if we go to a height instead of readiness, then we go to 4 like we did now because that's all we had for personnel on the ground.
Beautiful day out here at Sierra Charlie 4-3. Sun's out and it's 18 degrees right now. It's only 10 o'clock in the morning.
Sunbathing weather.
Yeah, it's coming. Hope things are nice and cold back in Canada.
First dog over at 6-3. Remember that OP we made out there? Oh yeah.
HV side of the zone of separation begins in the northwest. It follows the black track down and comes across to the large green patch you can see just below the ridge line. It carries on up to Sierra Charlie 4-6, where it turns southwest and continues past just behind our location on the ridge line and continues out past Sierra Charlie 5-1.
There were 6 individuals. They split up in 3 groups of 2s.
Okay.
2 went onto that route which I just shown you there with the tractor, and the other 2 went on the route where that vehicle is, that lone vehicle that's parked. And then there's 1 individual that went on the north side of Colt for about 15 meters.
Based on what Master Corporal Bruce and Private Ashikawa have been saying, there's no way they could have been doing that. They were digging and planting stuff in the ground.
A 3, this is 4-3 Foxtrot, sit rep, Gubavici, over.
3 personnel, civilian clothing, no weapons seen. Right now we have a position here that's been upgraded from the previous patrol that's been up here.
Of course, you know that that is against the ceasefire agreement, and tomorrow I expect that when Sergeant Vance comes by that position will have been returned to its original state.
Najbolje da to napravimo sutra, ja i njegov kolega ili moj komandir i on, jer se radi najvjerojatnije o sitnom detalju koji nema potrebe da cijelu ekipu.
He thinks that it's better to do this tomorrow, Sergeant Vance and his deputy, because it's probably one small improvement. So.
Okay, sir. As I stated, tomorrow when we come up to do our visit at 1400 hours, I will expect that the position will be returned to its original state, and if it is not, then I expect that your deputy will be here to liaise with Sergeant Vance and at that time return it to its original state.
On the 31st of December, myself and Private Tessioni and Private Leclerc were in our ASO trailer. We just got back from a mission. We were the quick reaction force that day, and we got called out, and we were just back from that. We were about to get ready to go to dinner, and Private Badani came in and asked he needed an extra person to go with him in the vehicle for an escort. And it was between the 3 of us, so Private Tessioni said, oh, well, you guys go to dinner, and he'd do it. So he went out then, and that was the last I saw him till I saw him in the hospital.
10 days after being shot by Serb gunmen, Canadian privates Philip Bandani and John Tessioni say they would go back to the former Yugoslavia.
What happened was it's just unfortunate, and it's just a minor, compared to what everyone's there for.
You're just there for the women and children, because they're not, they have nothing to do with the military. They're just trying to get on with their normal lives.
The 2 men were returning from a UN observation post in Croatia when they were confronted by 20 Serbs at a roadblock. Their orders were not to stop.
So I stepped on the gas, and as we were passing them, you can hear them cock their weapons, and just shortly after they started firing.
Badani was wounded in the back. Tessioni was hit in the shoulder, back, head, and hand.
There were at least several weapons involved, and they were hit multiple times. They're very lucky to be here.
The soldiers are part of the Royal Canadian Regiment, observing the UN zone of separation around the Serb-held enclave of Krajina. Their commander says the unpredictable violence comes with the territory.
During the course of the normal day, really you're dealing with a criminal or ruffian element. And once you add alcohol into the mix, you really can't predict on any given day exactly how they're going to respond.
The 2 soldiers are expected to be released from hospital in a few days. Sean Poulter, CJOH News.
Could have been anyone, really. It could have been any friend in our section or somebody that we knew, so we just carried on and tried to take it as best as we could.
Weapons, controller. Controller.
Jest. Ja.
Ja?
Ja.
Okay.
Okay.
Dobra, do widzenia. Well, these guys are pretty tough today to talk to. Hardcore name English. No uniforms, no weapons, no problems. All is calm, over.
When they found out we were going, or found out we were both going, my wife used to say to me, it'd be nice if we could get near where Frank is going to be, so we could be together. And as it turned out, that's the way it was. And the first time I called her after Frank had left, her first question was, have you seen him yet?
Okay. Quarter to pile! March! Quarter guard at the 1st Battalion, the Royal Canadian Regiment, General Salute, present! Two, three. Shelter! Arms!
This your first medal?
Second one, sir.
What's the other one?
Cypress and golf, sir.
Looks good on you. It's going to go well with them, too.
Thank you, sir.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
First one.
Yes, sir.
Well, that's a great one to start with, you know. And there's a hell of a lot. People are becoming so accustomed to seeing the ordinary citizens. Probably going to know what that means.
Yes, sir.
If not, tell them.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations.
Canbat 1 has earned a very honorable reputation throughout UNPROFOR, and you become known as a solid, reliable unit of professional soldiers. This reputation is earned in part by your continued vigilance, your attention to detail, and your relentless approach to monitoring the ceasefire agreement. It's a reputation founded on teamwork, from the soldiers in the OPs to the soldiers and the clerks in the office. Everyone has played an integral part in the success story of Canbat 1. More than ever before, Canadians from every walk of life have been tremendously supportive and appreciative of our mission here. The overwhelming number of letters, the cards, and the gifts that this mission has received is an indication of the appreciative Canadians that recognize the difficult job that you're doing here in Croatia. We owe our thanks to those supporters. Wear your medals with pride, knowing that each of you has contributed to peace and the improvement of life in this country. Wear it as a sign of strength and support from your families and your friends, and most importantly, wear your medal with honor, knowing that you've been part of an excellent team that has honored Canada's reputation in the eyes of the world.
Charlie, roger, presently located at Sierra Charlie 5-2, still no sign of the ARSK delegation.
We're going to do, bring them into the center, we turn them around first, back them up, leave about 20 meters in between vehicles. Once that happens, then we'll unload. Bodies are examined, identified, so on and so on. We're not allowed to, or our people do not touch the bodies, okay? They load up and they go their merry ways, okay?
Okay, give it a moment.
Activities here have been successful. The exchange has taken place.
The vehicles, as well as some of the motor cars, will be passing by your location shortly. Pull off the side of the road, let them pass.
Six months here leaves a lot of time to ponder why people fight. In Croatia's zone of separation, where families once lived, there is only rubble and peacekeepers. It is the job of Canadians like Patrick Supranon to keep it that way.
You just monitor the zone for any ceasefire violations, of shots being fired, explosions, vehicles, military vehicles traveling through the zone.
Before the ceasefire in the Serb-held Krajina, fighting raged back and forth through these once picturesque towns. Now there is just shattered silence. Zone of separation sounds simple enough. This is what it looks like on the ground. The people who once lived here in the town of Kasic have fled. Most of their homes have been destroyed. 2 kilometers wide, almost 500 kilometers long, this zone is heavily mined and virtually empty. For the Canadian soldiers who patrol here, keeping apart the Croats and the Krajina Serbs is the UN's best hope for peace. Before peace, there will have to be forgiveness. In this war, symbols of faith are a favorite target. In a Serb Orthodox cemetery, there is no peace even for the dead. The Canadian soldiers try and help the families.
We escort civilians from the Serb side, the town of Smilcic, up into here so they can visit and fix up the graves. And we provide local security in this area and throughout, just to make sure that no one takes pot shots at them.
It is sobering duty, but even here, Canadians can sometimes find reason for hope. At the Obervac kindergarten, there is now time for play.
Carry some in.
To schools on both sides of the zone, the soldiers bring crayons, paper, and books, much of it donated by Canadian school children back in Ottawa.
They run out to the truck and help us unload, and whenever we're talking to the teachers and the kids, I try to point out that, you know, these things are from kids like yourself back in Canada.
The Canadians get something too.
Look at some of the junior medics and whatnot and get out there with these kids. They have smiles on their faces for 3 days afterwards.
Then it's back to work.
My guys will be doing the security.
At the Zemunik crossing, in the middle of the zone of separation, Canadians prepare to play host to one of the largest prisoner exchanges of the war.
These guys have been fighting as little as 5 weeks ago. We'll do a simultaneous change, Croats and Serbs passing each other at the same time and then going into the tents for the medical treatment.
These soldiers have already been intermediaries for an exchange of casualties. This crossing was chosen by warring enemies because it is run by Canadians.
These prisoners and bodies come from Bosnia-Herzegovina, and the reason they're over here is because they know that this particular crossing site, this particular area, is well controlled.
The challenge will be keeping control. The Croatian government's threat to force the UN out has passed, but a new mandate for UN forces is coming. Back home, the Canadian government decides how long its peacekeepers will continue to serve in the former Yugoslavia. The soldiers say they can do the rest.
The thing I would assure everyone back home is that Canadian peacekeepers are here. I'll guarantee that they'll be amongst the very best peacekeepers in theater.
That promise has a price. 10 Canadians have died in the Balkans since this mission began. 60 have been injured.
Sierra Charlie 3, this is 2 over.
In a few weeks, Private Supernaw's battalion will rotate home. The images of what they have all seen here will go with them.
You get used to it after a while. Not used to seeing it, but when I go home, I'm not going to miss seeing it.
Sean Poulter, CJOH News, in the zone of separation.
Excellent pull. Excellent pull.
Geez, you got some real fat guys there. Well done. Come on now, come on now. Come on now. Come on! Come on! Come on! Come on! Come on! Yes! Yes!
And right now, as you can see behind me, we're having, it's called a Rastevic blowout, a barbecue. We have a roast pig, roast lamb. We have about a 14 entree course menu. And it's just our way of saying thanks, and it's time to go home.
Put it on the edge.
A big poster, safari picture in the back or something. This is us on safari.
Bird got it.
We're out of here.
Out of here and going home.
We're going home.
We are going home.
Yeah, we're out of here.
Heading out.
And the cats and the coyote are happy lads. Let's go, lads. On the bus. Off the bus.
Cut Nigel. Cut Nigel.
One of my last responsibilities, commanding officer of CanBat 1 Rotation 5, is to do the end of this film. And I think there's no more appropriate means of doing that than to acknowledge the two groups that I feel contributed most significantly to our success over here. First of all, our families. To you who have given us so much love, encouragement, and support, on behalf of all of us, I'd like to say thank you. We couldn't have done it without you. And second, to the soldiers of CanBat 1. It's been your loyalty, professionalism, enthusiasm, and most of all your good humor that's got us through the rough times over here and made the tour such a success. You've been a real credit to Canada. You've made me very, very proud of you. And all I can say is that it's been a privilege and an honor to serve with you. And I wish you all good fortune and good soldiering in the future. Thank you.
I have a 3-year-old son, so I'm anxious to see him right now. So.
Jackie Fleury is glad to be home.
There she is. feels great. It's wonderful to be back in Canada. It was a long haul.
Fleury and 267 other soldiers returned to base Petawawa early Tuesday. They'd been in Croatia for 6 months on a UN peacekeeping assignment.
We haven't had any major shooting incidents. We haven't had any major disasters. All in all, it has been very, very well done. The guys have done an outstanding job.
These troops are part of the Royal Canadian Regiment. The rest of the unit, about 500 members, will be back next week.
Come home just in time for a birthday. We're thrilled about that.
Happy. It's about time, finally.
Just in time. 20 days left, and we're having our first baby. So I'm looking forward to it.
What are you going to do now that he's back? Anything special?
Spend a lot of time with him.
And she just might get her wish, since Canada's peacekeeping commitments in the former Yugoslavia may end in September. Dan Nisnik, CHRO News at Canadian Forces Base, Petawawa.